All right, so I would like to share the screen. So you guys can see my screen? Right.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, so good morning, everyone. Today is really excited for me, and also I'm happy to be able to host our today's session. That today's we are from Glints and also from AIA Insurance would like to do some webinar, the sharing session for the student from Caltech Polytechnic. So before we go further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Theo. I am from Glints as the Talent Experience Lead. That I will be conducting this event for the next 2 hours. So I also would like to say thank you from the Caltech Polytechnic. Now we have Bu Indah as one of the lecturer and also as the organizing committee for today. Hello, Bu Indah. Okay, so Bu Indah already around with us on this platform, but unfortunately she cannot unmute because she has a bit trouble with her speaker. But she's already here. So yeah, so I think that was about the opening. But today I'm not gonna be here alone talking about myself or sharing. But today I also have some companions from my friends also in here who already joined also will be as the speaker. So yeah, let me introduce to our cool speakers from AIA Singapore and also Batam Technology Center. So first, let me introduce to our speaker, that is Maria Joni. Hello, Maria.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Maria. So yeah, that is Maria Juni. You can call her Maria. She's as a technology analyst from AIA Singapore. All right. So after that, the second, we have also Mohammed Najula as a data engineer from AIA Singapore. Hello, Najula.
Hello, good morning.
All right. Good morning. And then the third, we also have David Valentino as a principal engineer from Batam Technology Center team. Hello,
Hi,
David.
good morning, everyone. Hi, morning, Theo. Thank you.
Good morning. Yeah, okay. Finally, that is David Valentino. And then also the fourth, we have Bari Anand as a technical analyst also from BTC team. Hello, Mas Bari.
Hello everyone, morning.
Morning. All right, last but not least, we also have Nico Agustiawan as a principal engineer from BTC team. Hello, Nico.
Yeah, hello, hi everyone, morning. Nice to
All
meet you.
right. Yeah. All right, so that was about the introduction of our cool speakers that will be sharing about their expertise and also their story joining with AI Singapore and also BTC team. So, like you guys already aware that today that we'll be having a webinar which is supported by the AI Singapore, Glints, and also the Caltech Polytechnic. So today's event will be about how to grow your career with us, with the AI Singapore and also Glints, and how to be the expert. So without further ado, we cannot wait about the speaker's topic about how to grow your career in IT and also about how to be the expert. All right. So before the sharing session, I also would like to remind that at the end of the session that there will be a question and answer, and also we provide a quiz for the student. So later on, for the student who are able to answer the question from the speakers, that you guys will be entitled let's say a prize that will be transferred to your e-wallet. So please do take it like duly concerned with the topic. Maybe later on that you can answer, then you will get the prize. All right, so let's remove about the introduction. That maybe some of you here already aware about AIA insurance, or maybe some of you has no clue about what is actually AIA. So I would like to start by the introduction about AIA itself. So here about the introduction about AIA. What is actually about AIA? AIA. So I'm gonna share about AIA. It is stated from the official website that AIA is the largest life insurer in Asia with over a century of expertise. So at this moment, that AIA has 18 markets worldwide, and that AIA as the insurance has 41 million plus of individual policies, and also 17 million plus holding a group insurance schemes members, and also the number one worldwide for number of $1 million roundtable members in worldwide at this moment. So actually, what is AIA striving for? AIA striving to create a better, a more sustainable future by empowering customers to understand and manage every aspect of their health, wellness, and protection needs. So AIA is really striving for that health, wellness, and protection needs. So AIA purpose-driven to help people to live healthier, longer, better lives by making a significant positive impact for the communities that they serve across in Asia. And then we are going to have a look about to look back about the history before that. Actually, AIA is already like 104 exists in the world. As we can see here from the screen, it was firstly established in 1919 by the group founder, Mr. Cornelius van der Star, who established an insurance agency in Shanghai for the first time. And then we moved to 1931, and the first expansion that the group founder, Mr. Cornelius van der Star, founded International Assurance Company Limited, which is called Intasco in Shanghai, and then Intasco established branch offices in Hong Kong and Singapore. And then moved forward in 1947, that the headquarters, that Intasco moved its head office to Hong Kong and changed its name for the first time to American International Assurance Company Limited, or AIA Co. So AIA stands for the American International Assurance Company. And then move forward again in 1981, that the AIA entering to New Zealand, that our New Zealand operation began as a branch of American Life Insurance Company, or ALICO. In 1992, that re-established in China. So AIA re-established their presence in China through a branch office in Shanghai, that the first foreign-owned life insurance business to receive a license in the country. And then in 2008, that is the Asia Pacific expansion time, that the AIA received the first international takaful operator license as a part of the Islamic financial institution in Malaysia. And another milestone in 2010, that the AIA Group Limited successfully listed on the main board of the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong Limited as the third largest IPO ever globally at the market until now. So it's already 104 years of existence in the insurance world. I think that's all about a general about AIA. And then I would like to back to my screen. Now, AIA actually has a lot of branches, especially also in Asia. Their presence really strong. In Asia, some branch is AIA Singapore. So AIA Singapore has a joining with the cooperation with the offshore strategic team, which is located also in Batam, that we call a Batam Technology Center. So at this moment, as you can see from the screen, that we are here with the AIA Singapore and also with the Batam Technology Center. We always look for like people with the skills, with the most wanted skills, as you can see on the screen. It's like Angular, Node.js, Java, SQL, Hibernate, Python, Java EE, and many more. So maybe for some of you guys have some like interested with those skills. So congratulations. Maybe you will be someday will be part of us with the AIA Singapore and also with the BTC team. So yeah, it is founded in 1919. Right now, AIA has more than 1,000 employees with the tech team size at this moment is 400 and offshore engineers. We have more than 50 offshore engineers at the moment. So yeah, that was about the AIA. Now we move into the main core of the session. So let's grow your career with us and be the expert. Actually, the session there will be four main parts. So the first that we are going to talk about the Batam Technology Center AIA, which will be presented by Barry, Nico, and David. And then after that, we'll be continued with the data architecture team, which will be presented by Najula and Maria. So without further ado, I would like to give the session to our first speaker, Mas Barry, to share about how to start the IT career. I will be helping you by sharing the screen. All right, so let me open.
All right. Thank you for welcoming me, Mas Tio. Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Barry Anan. You can call me Barry. I work as an engineer here, or specifically technical analyst. Today, I'm gonna present you about how to start your career in IT. Okay, next. There are many types of IT jobs. Shortly, I have listed for you for the main types of IT jobs. Generally, there are 5 main types of IT jobs. As you can see, there is security, in which you will be handling the safety of the application against threats like hacking. Then we have software development, where you will be creating and developing application. We call the people doing this as a developer. In this type, you can choose based on your capability. For example, you can be back end if you're good at logic and front end, or UI UX if you're good at design. Next, there is an IT infrastructure. The IT infrastructure engineers provide the building block needed for the system. For example, the developer needs 1 terabyte storage. The infrastructure engineer will do the installation of the storage need to the computer. After that, we got IT support. As the name suggests, IT support engineer will support all the needs of other. If there is newcomer, the IT support will prepare everything for the newcomer to be ready to start working, such as installing and configuring application needed, explaining the technology, setting up accounts for you, etc. Last one is data management. As we know, this type is for database engineer, which will be handling the database system, design, infrastructure, the procedure, etc. Okay, next. Mustio, next. Okay, day-to-day as a software
It's already
developer.
moved?
Yes. Okay. When you work as a software developer or software engineer, you will be doing a lot of coding. If there is an issue, you should identify the issue and fix it. We will also improve the system quality by developing standard operating procedures. And then you will be enhancing application by identifying some parts of the application that might need improvement. You will be making recommendation and implementing the systems. And then you will be maintain and improve the existing codes and do some peer review codes changes. You will also be liaising with colleagues to implement the technical design. You also learn the new technologies and investigate the technology to see if it's viable to use and relevant to the application you develop. And the last one, you will do some writing, or we call it IT documentation. This is to make it easier if you want to hand over the project or application to other people. Okay, next. Okay, this is a career path in IT jobs generally. The first time you join company, you will be an intern, and then up to the junior engineer, and then senior engineer, and then a principal engineer, and then you will be the senior principal engineer or the team lead. Okay, next. This is a text for the IT, there are some tech stacks in IT that handle every part of IT jobs. I have listed some of the tech stacks as you can see. There are React.js, Node.js, React Native, Java, etc. Those tech stacks are used in different purpose in IT. For example, the Java we use it on the as a backend languages programming. React.js, Node.js, React Native is for the front end, and like SQL we use it for the database and etc. Okay, next. This is some tips on your career journey. The first one is you should have a regular one-one with your lead. That means you should be do more of communication with your leads, ask for some advice to your lead, so you can increase your knowledge. And then second, you should be asking for feedback. Anything you do, you should ask for the feedback from the other people. And then you should communicate your goal clearly. And then don't just stay in your place. Learn more. Don't let your role define your impact. Okay, next. Let's start your IT career journey in IAA Singapore. Let's move to the experience in IAA. Okay, this is an experience in IAA. I will tell you the experience in IAA Singapore. So we have 3 offices located in SG, BTC, and CTC. SG is for Singapore, I'm sure you know. BTC is Batam Trade Center, and CTC is Cyberjaya Trade Center, which is in Malaysia. Okay, next. This is a Singapore office. Our office in Singapore is in Mr. Can you go back? Yeah, our office in Singapore is in Tampines. They have a huge building and so comfortable to work in. I've been there many times for important meetings. Okay, next. This is a Batam office. Batam office is located in Nongsa Digital Park. The building is kind of cool. We have our own canteen. We get some snacks provided by the company, and that's free. And what I love the most is they have cats. I love cats. They're very cute cats. Anyways, next. This is a Cyberjaya office. This is our office in Cyberjaya or CPC. I have never been there, but so I don't know much about the office, but I bet it must be very cool, as you can see in the pictures. There's that looks so comfortable to work in. Okay, next. Continuous learning. In IA, we support the growth and improvement of the employee. You will not just working, but you also can do some learning of the new technologies. We have so many training and resources that you can join or use for free to increase your knowledge. For example, last time I've joined the Agile training and the AI training in AIA. Next. Okay, yeah, this is the same. Next. Work hard, play hard. So outside of the working, we don't just work and learn. We also do some fun things, like we do footballs, barbecue, touring, staycation, or camping. So many things we also do outside of our work, and that's so fun, you know. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Mas Bari, for the session. Actually, I want to double check. Is it my connection is good or stable for you guys? Good, yeah. Okay, I just want to have a. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so next we will move to the engineering culture. So I would like to invite to our speaker, Nico, for this session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, there's probably some background sound from my side. So if you guys cannot hear me, just do let me know lah. Okay. So I think yeah. Can we start now, Tio?
Yep. Sure.
All right. Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Yeah. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nico Augustiawan. I'm a principal engineer in the AIS Singapore, based in Batam. And yeah, I'm actually an alumni from PCR lah. I was majoring in IT and studied from 2012 and to 2016 lah. And I'm in the same year as Pak Mahrus as a. So it's a really fun opportunity for me to talk to you guys and share my experience and knowledge working here lah. So in this session, I will try to explain about engineering culture. What is engineering culture? Why do we need one? And how to do it at best? And the practice we do in AIA. So feel free to stop me anytime if you guys have any question and let this session be more interactive. Okay, so let us start. Yeah, can continue, Tio? Okay, yeah. Sorry, can you go back again? Okay, so I think the animation is not working. So what is engineering culture? Maybe we can clarify on the culture first lah. Culture is a set of common activities that defines a group. Therefore, anyone who joins a group will embrace the culture as well. So in a group where we have some common activities or some common goals, we'll have something like a culture itself lah. So if we combine that with an engineering practice, engineering culture is made up of a different but consistent attitudes, behavior, values, and practice that leads an organization in its engineering project and tasks. So I think, in my opinion, engineering culture is really important. Whether you work in a company, in a corporate company, or in a startup company, it's a really important to be valued and to be done. They impact how the engineers act, make decision, and how they feel and do assignment. So in an organization's engineering culture should focus on keeping the developers engaged and maintaining the integrity of their work. A great engineering culture flourishes when engineers are encouraged to go beyond what they thought their limits were. So why do we need engineering culture? There's a lot of benefits to do engineering cultures. The most important thing is to foster innovations among teams. A good engineering culture can foster innovation among the teams, so we can do comfortable to be creative, think outside of the box and bring new ideas. And it fosters collaboration as well within the teams and promotes open communications. So there will be no something like shyness in within the teams, or you be afraid to talk to anyone, to your seniors or anyone. We encourage open communications and encourage problem solving and continuous improvement by doing these engineering cultures. And it's also in the technical side is improve the customer satisfactions, because we deliver and maintain technology consistently with high quality and meets customer expectations. Then how do we do engineering cultures? There's a lot of ways to do engineering cultures. Like for example, use management tools, foster effective communications, leverage agile methods, collaborate on our projects, and give and receive regular feedbacks. But the most important things for engineering cultures to be work successfully is the important thing is to have a common goals where we have strong engineering cultures is this result of people working together with a shared purpose and visions for the futures. So as I mentioned before, in the culture you have a common goals. So that's the important things in engineering as well, where we have a common goal to be achieved. So everyone can work together and achieve that goals together. Okay, Theo can help to continue. So there are three principles we do in AIA itself. So first of all is sustainable software. By the meaning of sustainable software is the practice of creating and maintaining a software systems that minimize environmental impact while meeting user needs and quality standards. So the keywords is the minimize the long-term impact of the IT infrastructure of the world. So as we know in this digitalized world, right? IT will always going to be improved. There's going to be a lot of changes. So what we can do is we can sustain and maintain the current software to be the minimized. So what we can do is we can do software optimization, and then we can do refactoring, and we can do avoiding third party. So it will not impact a lot of our current existing application, so it will not have much tidy works to do if there's any upgrades or any more modernizations. And then the next one is the incremental improvement. Okay, incremental improvement is an approach to process improvement within the personnel in which you focus efforts on a smaller solutions that slowly but surely move the business towards success. So the idea is a low cost and low risk. So you slowly improve your anything technical skills, communications, and other skills that you really need to improve, but you can do it slowly and steps by steps. So this is the incremental improvement. So this is we really in AIA we really encourage this incremental improvement, and the next one is continuous learning. Of course, we always going to continue learning. We encourage the developer to always learn and explore. We should never stop learning, and anyone can learn anything and anytime. So this is really important for us as a developer and as an engineer. Okay, yeah, Theo can help to continue. Okay, just now, as I mentioned, the three principles of AIA use, and all of this is driven by quality excellence, high maintainable software, and innovations. Quality excellence is the quality that we provide to customer needs, like creating product and service that meet specification and expectations. So this is really important as well. So we don't want to have any any issue with the client or customer that that we provide the applications and the works. And innovation is actually new idea problem solving solutions that are encouraged in AIA as well. So everyone can have their own opinions and solutions that can be discussed together. So, okay, there's a lot of practice for engineering cultures. You can see in the right side there, there's unit testing, code review, design review, pair programming, post-mortem, secure codings, and all those things. So Theo can help to go to the next slide. Okay, so in the next slide will have the, can click again, Theo? Yeah, so this is the key practice that we do in AIA Singapore. So So we encourage all the teams to do all of this engineering culture process. First of all is design review and postmortem, and then there's knowledge sharing, unit testing, pair programming, and code review. So I will have to provide more details information on all of this engineering culture practice. Okay, can have to go to the next slide. Can click again, Theo. Okay, so first of all is design review. Design review is a technical meeting that is held an early stage in the software development process. So before we can do any developments or any requirements, we should do a design review. Design review generally involve a presentation of a planned software design at a time early enough in the process to allow for changes if is necessary. So before we can start the development, before we can have any roadblocks, we can do it in the design review so we can prevent any other future issues. So we can change if necessary. Why do we use design review is because as I mentioned, we don't want any impact in the futures. So we do design review in the earliest stage before we do development. And then the next one will be the post-mortem. Post-mortem is an analysis conducted after the system failure. So the goal is to understand why an accident or error happened and to learn from the experience. In so doing, future software problems happens, but conducting a post-problem analysis, you can ensure that they don't happen again. So this is mostly conduct if there's some failing or some failure in the application, service, server systems that we can have a post-mortem. So in the near future, if the problem happens again, we can help to prevent it, or we can help understand what is the solutions that we need to take actions. Okay, can go to the next slide, Theo. Okay, the next one is pair programming. Okay, so pair programming is actually two sets of developers working together to achieve a project or achieve assignments together. The design, so sorry, I think the description in here is wrong. Okay, so pair programming is actually two people working together to achieve the same goals. There's a lot of methodology to use for pair programming. The first one, as you can see in the picture, is unstructured. Unstructured pair programming, the developer can trade off who takes the lead and should discuss decision about the code. So in this one, they can interchange between who takes the lead, who will be the navigator, who will be the backseat coding basically. And then the next one is driver and navigator. Driver and navigator will have one developer sets of architecture and strategic directions, and the other ones implement this decision as a code. So as you can see from the names, one will be the driver who will be the code and the developing on the code, and the other one is the navigators. Navigators is usually provide the information, the business logics, and then the requirement that required. And then the last one is ping pong. Ping pong is back and forth, so you can interchange between two developer at the same times. All right. Okay, I think we can continue to the next slide. Okay, the next thing is unit testing. Unit testing is really important as well as for us developers. It's done during developments, coding phase, and of an application's developed. So unit tests isolate a section of code and verify if its correctness. A unit may be an individual function, method, procedure, module, or objects. So why do we need unit testing? Unit testing help to fix bugs early in the development cycle, and it will save a lot of cost lah before we can found any other future issue. And it helps the developer to understand the testing code base and enables them to make change quickly lah. There's a lot of techniques for unit testing. So for all the programming language will have their own tools. For example, for Java, they will use JUnit. And then for JavaScript, they will use Jest or Unit.js. And then many other tools. And then the next one will be code review. Code review, developing a strong code review process sets a foundation for continuous improvement and prevents unstable code from shipping to customer. So before we can deploy our products to the stakeholder, we should do code review. Code review mostly will do by the seniors or by the team leads. So it will prevent any bugs or any other unnecessary changes. And then also the benefits is we can do a share knowledge and then maintain compliance and enhance the security of the product that we are going to deploy as well. All right. And then the last one will be, can help to go to the next slide, Theo. Yeah, the most important things in AIA is the knowledge sharing. So knowledge sharing is activity through which knowledge is exchanged among people, friends, peers, families, communities. But I think this one is more on the each team's members. So the purpose of share knowledge is so that you are not expert alone in that specific uh, subject. So it will share to all of your team members. You should not have knowledge on your own, so that the team members will at least knows the basics of what you're doing, of what your understanding is. Okay, can go to the next slide, Theo. Can go to the next slide. Okay. So this one I will share to you about AIA community events. So just now I mentioned share knowledge is really important in AIA and it's really encouraged. So we prepare a platform for all those sharing knowledge. And so the importance of community events in AIA is to collaborate and engage across multiple teams in tech department and then to keep you up to date to the tech world. So yeah, can go to the next slide. So one of the community events that we have is Guild. Guild is where each person share knowledge, what they understanding of certain subject. For example, there's a front-end guild where a team member will be the one that present the front end that they understand, whether it's JavaScript or Java server page or anything. So we can share anything regarding front end guild. And then there's also Eggplant. Eggplant is a sample of unit testing that I mentioned just now. So you don't need to be an expert, really expert in the subject, but you can share all your understanding, all your knowledge about anything about that subject, basically. Okay, so yeah, can continue to the next slide. Okay, yeah, so this is the sample of how we do the community events. We sit together in a room in the office where everyone can be interactive, talking to each other, have questions and query, uh, basically discuss together. There's no expertise in this discussion, so we can understand together in a room. Okay, can go to the next stage, next slide. Yeah, this is the sample as well. Okay, can go to the next slide. Okay, there's also competition that we do in AIA lah. There's the first one is AIA Moonshot. This is where we create a project, we make a team to create a project applications that we can do a competition within. So the first prize will win this kind of money, and then so it's a quite interesting activity that we've done. The winner of this competition, they build a AI kind of project that helps the AIA to do more on their assignment. And then the next one will be, there's also a competition regarding the secure code warrior. This one is to understand better on the security side of each application. So this one will teach us understand better on how important is security in every project and every product that we provide to the stakeholders. Okay, can go to the next slide, Theo. Okay, we also have team bondings. So team bondings will have all of the departments of AIA coming together in a room where we do bond, where we do some kind of town hall meetings, and then we introduce ourselves. If there's a new member, they will introduce themselves, and then basically to know better for all of the developers in AIA. Okay, next slide. We also have team gathering where we go eat out, and also like Barry just mentioned just now, there's a lot of uh, sports that we can do, and then we also have barbecue and all those things. Okay, good. Can go to the next slide, Tim. Yeah, so these are the sports as well, where we go touring and also play badminton and soccer. So it's not only going to work. We also play hard. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's all from my side. Is there any question from all my friends in PCR? Okay, if you guys have any question, you can comment it in the chat. So I think you will help to list out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I pass back to you, Theo. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Nico, for the sharing. So yeah, if you guys have any question, feel free. Maybe you can type, or later you can keep it, and then during the Q&A session, then we will discuss it together. Yeah. All right. So next, we will move to the another speaker that we have, David Valentino, that will be sharing about backend application.
Okay, thank you, my partner Theo. And good morning, everyone.
Good
Halo
morning.
semua. Okay, today I'm very delighted to be one of the speakers to bring this topic to my friends from Polytechnic Caltech Riau. So let me introduce myself. My name is David Valentino, or you can call me also Valentino is okay, so it's the same. And to share to you about a bit of my background story in AIA and Batam. So initially, I was coming from Surabaya, East Java. Jadi sebenarnya saya dari Surabaya, dari Jawa Timur. Kemudian saya mau nyari, waktu itu dapat offer untuk kerja di AIA. Got offer to work in AIA. That one, then last time is stationed in Batam. So at first for me, it's quite a challenge because I never go to Batam before. I don't know how is Batam, how the life will be in Batam. So it's quite challenging and it's quite unpredictable of what could happen in Batam. But after I take decision, I come to Batam because I want to work in AIA Singapore. Then the first time I see in Batam, oh, Batam is not bad. Not even not bad. Batam is actually good. Sebenarnya Batam tuh keren juga, lengkap. Di Batam tuh lengkap ternyata. Jadi nggak sesuai bayangan saya dulu. Kalau bayangan saya, aduh Batam itu gimana sih bentuknya? Nggak pernah ke Batam. Kalau ke Singapura juga nggak pernah lihat Batam. Langsung direct flight Singapura. Ternyata begitu sampai Batam, it's quite complete. Dan mall juga ada, lengkap. Terus kita buat entertainment juga banyak. Di sini ada gym juga. Jadi saya pergi ke gym, saya nyari gym. Di sini dekat juga, fasilitasnya banyak juga. The food is quite nice as well. So far, when I stay in Batam, I'm quite happy. And so if any one of you that thinking, oh, is Batam good? Should I go to Batam? Maybe I can help to answer that question. That you can try that. Okay, now we're talking about the application development. Second application development is next slide, Theo. Backend, the name itself is literally say back, the backend application development. In the application development, we do something in backend. The backend, so backend is something that happen in the server side. It is something meant to be behind the scene. It's not meant for the user. It's not meant for the person who using the application to see what we are doing in backend. It's more focused on the functionality and the business logic. If you can imagine that actually backend is like a magic box that it accepts some input parameter, then what is happening inside the box? We don't know because this is magic box. Then the magic box will create for you the result without knowing how it makes, how it created. So it's a magic box. Actually backend also will help to store and arranges the data. Closely works with server, the database, and API. So what is API? So mungkin teman-teman lihat di sini API. Mungkin kadang kita juga bilang API. Tapi jangan bilang API ya teman-teman, karena sebenarnya API itu bahasa Inggris. Jadi kita harusnya mention API itu API, bukan API. API itu kan yang buat kompor itu API. Tapi kalau kita ngomong pemrograman, jangan ngomong API. Tapi ngomongnya API. Itu adalah programming interface. Nanti kita bahas lagi lebih dalam. Kalau teman-teman lihat di kanan bawah itu, you will see from the corner behind the bottom right corner, you see this is browser, then there is arrow pointing to backend. Then in the backend, the scope is for web server and database. Then what is the browser then? They might guess, what is the browser? So the browser is the front end side. There's something that user try to see, then do some input, do some query, do some checkout, do some add to cart in Tokopedia. That is the browser side or the application front end side. Next slide, Theo. Then what is the difference? Front end and back end. Any one of you must be already knowing this. It's so obvious of the name, the front end and the back end. But let us discuss more about this. If we can imagine the front end is the user interface and the user experience is so what we always known as the UI, the UX, and it is meant for the user of the application to see what is the experience they would feel, what the experience they would encounter, pengalaman mereka seperti apa ketika mereka melihat warna seperti apa, menekan tombol itu seperti apa yang terjadi. Nah, kemudian dari apa yang mereka lakukan, itu belum ada fungsi yang menjunjung untuk sistem tersebut. Kemudian setelah melakukan query, setelah melakukan action, it will pass to the backend. How we pass to the backend? From API, from API. So we will pass from the front end to backend through the API. So if you can imagine, if API is the way of communicating between both front end and backend, then let's say it's still quite confusing for us. So it's not quite clear what is actually how the flow is when we do front end and back end. So let us visualize this way. Kalau if we want to buy food in, let's say our favorite food store, chain food store, let's say we say McDonald's. We would like to order something there. So let's say we put ourselves as a visitor there. Then we go to the first, we will see, kita akan melihat cashier. We will see them, then we will see how is the color in the wall painting is red color. Then the red color is meant and purposely put there as red color for buat pelanggan itu bisa melihat, oh ada psikologis warna merah itu bisa membuat kita lapar. And if we want to order some food, of course, we need to see the menu big and clear and interesting. And bisa membuat kita ingin makan makanan yang di menu itu. So everything that being displayed in this section of cashier, we can say this cashier is actually a front end. What we display is actually is really meant for how the user will do the experience. Then let's say we want to order one burger. Then the cashier do some input. Oh, one burger. Then check out. What happened then? This is just the front end. So let us guess. Coba kita tebak. Jadi backendnya ada di mana? Ya, backendnya itu kitchen, di dapur. Ketika kita masuk ke kitchen, kita masuk ke dapur, kita nggak akan melihat ada warna yang menarik di situ. We wouldn't see some interesting thing like red color, some bigger font for visitor to see. But there is only the chef working there. Then what the chef do? Yeah, of course the chef will do some processing of the order. He start to do the burger, then he takes from the storage, the bun. He takes the bun from the storage. Dia ngambil roti dari gudang, dari tempat penyimpanan, dia ngambil sayur, dia mengambil daging. So we can display this as database. The chef there will process the database. He will take the storage, compile it into one, making the cooking. Then after it's all done, it will pass back to the cashier. And the cashier will give us the visitor the burger. So that's how we can actually visualize the flow of front end and back end. Okay, next Theo. if you are interested in the backend programming, let's say every one of us, oh, I am actually more interested to becoming the chef. I'm not interested to becoming the front end. Maybe because of some reason, maybe because of we feel like we are more comfortable rather than doing the color things and everything. The skill set of the backend, first we need to know the server management. What is server management do? Actually, the server management will manage whole kitchen. How you design, how you put the stove in the kitchen, how big is the kitchen, how many chefs can be inside the kitchen. That is the server management. Second, database management. Like the chef, we need to also access the database to take the bun, to take the meat. So if you are the chef, then we also don't know how to do database, and it's not quite complete. So we should have the knowledge for at least the database management, read, create, update, delete, or we can say CRUD, create, read, update, delete. Then we also need to have the programming language skill. Like my friends Nico earlier mentioned that, or Barry mentioned that previously we do Java, we do JavaScript. The Java is backend. Then this is the programming language that we want to choose. Which one we want to do the programming as a chef? Which language we want to do? Then the fourth is just now mentioned API, not API. API. The API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's just used for a communication between two apps. So it's the interface for communicating. It's like the bridge. If you see interface, the bridge is will be in the API. It's the communication wise. Okay, next, Theo. Tech stack at AIA Singapore. If you see here, there is Spring. If you see from the screen, there are 3 Spring: Spring Batch, Spring Boot, Spring Cloud Data Flow. This one is tightly coupled for the Java development, for the Java backend. But let's say, sir, Pak, saya nggak familiar sama Java, tapi saya mau nyoba kerja di AIA, gimana? It's okay, because we also have other tech stack. We use the Node.js. We use some use Express for the framework in Node. The other thing for the SQL, for the database, we use here the SQL server by Microsoft. If you see here, also have Bamboo. What is Bamboo? Bamboo is some tools. So it's just tools that help us to deploy what we are doing. Help us to deploy the burger to the cashier. It's that way. It's automatically, so the chef no need to come through one by one. It's just all automatic operation. And we see here on the right corner is Bitbucket. What is the Bitbucket? Because we are working in very big team, of course, we need to have some repository flow. Bitbucket with Git Bitbucket, this will help us to do the work team. And the other thing on the left top corner is Azure. This one is the tools for doing the server management. How we want to design the kitchen is all in this panel, Azure. Maybe after all of this one, maybe I can say there is some question from you guys. You might be thinking, oh, this is so many things need to learn. Waduh, Pak, ini kok banyak banget, banyak sekali nih yang harus saya kok banyak banget tagnya, saya nggak pernah nggak pernah pakai ini. It's okay, don't worry. Nggak perlu khawatir teman-teman, karena di sini untuk tag ini ada teman-teman kita yang udah ada tim lain yang memang menangani bagian-bagian ini. Jadi mungkin clue aja buat teman-teman yang mungkin tertarik untuk join. Kita bisa cukup dengan menguasai programming interface. Mungkin teman-teman mau ke backend, bisa menguasai programming language, misalnya di Java. Saya nggak bisa Java, saya bisanya Node.js dengan JavaScript. Boleh juga, nggak masalah. Terus kemudian mungkin tertariknya nggak sama backend, lebih tertarik sama frontend. Bisa juga, nggak apa-apa. Di kita pakainya, saya bocorin ya, saya kasih clue. Kita pakainya React Native, React.js. So, in case everyone of us is interested in joining AIA, you can start to looking for this one. Dan nggak perlu khawatir teman-teman dengan semua tadi, kayak yang apa sih postmortem, apa sih unit test. We will teach you one. We will bring this experience to you as well. Dulu saya juga waktu pertama kerja, sama juga seperti teman-teman dari kuliah dulu, kemudian baru lulus, baru skripsi, terus bingung mau kerja di mana kan. Tapi ya awalnya mulai saya intern juga, kita masuk sebagai intern, coba belajar dengan senior, melalui pair programming, melalui one-on-one, kita tanya sama senior kita, apa sih sebenarnya, apa sih. Dan melalui proses itu, ya akhirnya kita bisa belajar. Dan nggak perlu khawatir. Seiring berjalannya waktu, pasti teks-teks ini bisa kita pahami dan kuasai. Karena juga di AIA, in AIA, our senior is happily to bring the team to move forward as well. Okay, that's all from me. Hope this one will bring clear message to you. Thank you, Tio. Back to you.
All right. So thank you, Mas David, for the cool sharing session. Actually, we still have sound. Okay, that was the session from Batam Technology Center team. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Mas Bari. Thank you, Mas David. And then the next, we will move to the second about the data architecture team. So the first will be presented by Najula. So let me share the screen. And the session is yours, Najula.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, dear. So yeah, hi everyone, good morning. So hopefully everyone's still following along with all the presentations so far. So yeah, so I'm Najula and I work as a data engineer for AIA Singapore, and I'm part of the data architecture team. So earlier on, Valentino already shared about the database part, which is part of the backend being the magic box. So technically I'm the one part of handling the magic box. So before sharing about what I do within that the magic box sector, right? So let me just give you more about, I think, the background of database. So in case anyone is not familiar, or if anyone is planning to take up, I think, tech related or data related thing, practices or learning about it for your career, then yeah, it might be useful. Let's go next slide. Thank you. Yeah. So firstly will be what is actually a database. So I think this is more of a technical intro and more like, I think, online information store. So, but for your own use case, right, in projects, I think even like using Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, can just take it as for those things whenever you are managing all those Excel sheets, Excel files, they're all personalized, more or less. But then for database, or at least in a company context, it's more of something that's hosted on the server that's mainly used across the company. So you can take it as an Excel sheet that's used pretty much for the entire company, for your colleagues and your teammates. And some of the critical information that's used to be housed inside will be like your account information, passwords, bank records. Next year. So maybe just to give some even additional context or of like, let's say, services that you guys might already been using, but you might not be aware that it's actually a database. So first thing would be like your phones, like your own internal storage, right? Like there's the space that's used for downloading and making use of applications. Or another one would be like your, I think, phone contacts. So the context one is technically like your own localized storage, which is kept within that phone of yours. And technically, if you were to change phones, the phone contact doesn't automatically transfer just because you transfer your SIM or eSIM card. So you guys have to use like a backup software to restore it. So that's one. And another is like Google Drive, where you are like making use of the different services. Like we have Google Slides, which is what like Theo is using for the current sharing of mine. Plus also can be used for sharing of your like project files and personal files, your own development and testing purposes. So those are like different examples of a database that you guys are already using but might not know that it's actually like a form of database. Next slide. Okay, thank you. So just to give some additional context, right? Database as a whole, right? They are pretty much like the baseline for any applications or companies itself. Because in the current day and age, technology is pretty much at the forefront of, I think, everything. And without data, even if your front end, let's say your website, everything looks good, right? If the data is not there, pretty much the functionality would all be lost. So let me just share some context or examples of scenarios where without such databases, right, a lot of the services or perks that we enjoy in life might be disrupted. Next, first would be like Netflix streaming, right? So for videos, all those movies, shows like K dramas, if those things are not actually being stored in a central database like Netflix, right? None of us will be able to enjoy the K dramas, etc., or even animes, movies, all our dramas, etc., on the different streaming servers. So this is quite common across different streaming platforms. So that's one. Next, next would be Instagram. So we always want to share like the different experience that we have online with our friends, with our family, or even loved ones. Plus, also sometimes you just want to even stalk your own favorite celebrity online, or I think just follow up on the daily life of your close friends, because not all the time you will be around them. So having those information kept online, being available to everyone across the public for free is another aspect as well. Next. So I think this one is quite crucial, or I think quite important. It's like, okay, not really shopping on, it's more of browsing the catalogs of different shops, different stores online. So you can take it as example, if we don't have certain clothes stores or certain appliances store online like Shopee, Lazada kind, without those services or without the items being listed online for you to see, you would have to, I think, go up and down, multiple stores, spend even more money trying to travel across different shops. So it will take even more time and cost. So in a way, having that listed online for us to see actually saves a lot of time and money for us. That's one thing. And can we go to the next one, Tio? Thanks. Yeah. And last part, I think is a lot more crucial in the current day and age as well, because every time whenever we want to buy stuff, sometimes we don't really carry all the cash along with us, and we might need to make our payments through like credit card, your debit card, always through your, I think, bank accounts, like your internet banking accounts instead. And also helps us to send different payments across the border, even from like, let's say, from Indonesia or Singapore to other countries overseas. So it saves even more time and a lot of hassle in that sense. So in a way, pretty much without databases, a lot of the key functions or key perks and experiences we have in life, right, would be lost, would not be made easy. So technically, databases help to integrate all the different systems, the different services into one function. Yeah. So let's move on to, I think, AIA's context about how we use database for example. Let's go to the next slide here. Yeah. Okay. So for, I think AIA itself, right, the main data that we will be using, or the database that we'll be using, is like ODS. And this ODS, in a way, it technically relates to the day-to-day operational data store information. That's why like the ODS part comes into play. And will be used in like the following key scenarios. First one would be, Theo, can we just splash like next 2 or 3 times? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So first one would be login information. So if we don't have certain, let's say, staff information, for the colleague that I've shared so far, right, for myself or even next speaker, we will not be able to log in and even start our work. So technically, we need to have those key details in place. Next. As a insurance company, the main thing that we are, I think, operating on as a business would be selling insurance policies. And for the public who is actually signing up for the policies, the main thing that they are interested in would be their customer information, their policies that they are registered, and from time to time they might also want to come and review. So we need to house those information and make it simple in a way that those details are also accessible and reviewable by them. So their own customer login information must also be kept for them to track. Next. So next one is also is more in a way critical for performing financial transactions. These transactions in simplicity is relating to more of the monthly premiums that they are paying for their insurance policies. Without them, technically, the company as a whole would not be able to make revenue, see profits, and end of the day, it actually is the main thing that will be even paying for the teams, for the employees' salary and bonuses. Next. Yeah. So next one is also related to the financial part of it. But if you were to take the previous point, it's more of money that's coming into the company. But the last one, the current one, which is claim request, is more of the outgoing amounts, which is claims. So these claims, in a way, refers to, let's say, in the event for the different policies that customers have signed up for, right? In the event something goes wrong or something happens that they need to claim against the policy that they signed up for, AI as a company, we need to actually pay them the, I think, the signed up amount. So in that sense, we need to be careful, or we need to be quite detailed in how we are tracking and ensure we don't miss those details. If not, we might end up paying more, or even we might end up paying more than what's required, and it will eat into the company's revenue and profits. So in a way, you can take it as the main information for what we are surrounding our usage work will be around these details for the ODS information, the ODS database. Let's go to the next slide here. So the previous one was I was sharing more about the data, the main scenarios that we will be using within AI. But now comes the scenario for mine on what I work on. Next year. So for me, right, as a data engineer, my current role, or the main thing that I'm in charge of, will be like creating data migration pipelines, where I'll be moving data from multiple other source databases into the ODS database. So earlier on, for the examples and different scenarios I share, is about how one particular database is how that can be used in the different scenarios. But then, for as a company, right, you might not necessarily be just using one database, because one, it might be the overhead cost of maintaining one database only over time. Plus, I think as technology progresses, right, from the last 20 years or so, there was a lot of advancements, or how I say, changes that came into the processing speeds and cost of previous databases. As a result, as a company, we also have to change with time and adapt to the changes. That's why, like, we need to, I think, merge data from the previous source databases, because I wouldn't say that they are completely not relevant to the current time. Just that with the new changing time, right, we need to adapt and try to move those data from the old servers to the new one so that it's processing at a speed that's more uh, relevant to the current expectations of the market. Like I think current expectations of the public. I think some example I can think of would be, I think like what 15 years ago or what, if you were to use your phone line or even the dial-up lines, right, for internet, certain I think pages will load like what 1 minute to load one particular page. But currently, if you were to go visit the same website like Google, right, you cannot expect it to load for like 1 minute and just be patient, right? So in that kind of context, so we need to in that kind of context we need to be relevant to the changing standards of speeds and expectations of the public also. For this part, I also want to point out that I think as a database for the ODS database, right, we might be using one particular database like I think PostgreSQL. So that's the programming syntax that we need to use for ODS. But then I also need to be familiar with other programming codes and syntaxes from the previous databases because I need to be creating scripts within the pipelines um, for it to be migrated across because I need to process, I need to take in the data that's coming in from the other server. So I need to write SQL query for that. After that, I need to convert into a different SQL syntax that will be uh, acceptable in the ODS database. So in that sense, for anyone that's potentially interested in the, I think, data engineering or anything data related, you would have to be prepared to learn multiple languages. But the good thing is the baseline, how I say, the foundation is actually shared across all databases. So you can feel free to actually just take up and learn any SQL language for starters, and then slowly you pick up the different SQL queries. But most of it, the structure and code format is pretty similar across the board. Next year. Yeah. So the next part will be, I think, functional scripts. So currently what I've shared so far is all more like up to just within databases and those use case scenarios. But beyond that point, we also need to write scripts or functions so that it can be consumed and used by the different AIA applications. So one example I can use would be the login scenario just now I shared, right? I need to create a function called like get customer details or get login info. Because every time, let's say on the website application, whenever you guys try to log into, let's say, your own Google account or not, whenever you do the username and password and login, right? Well, on the back end, what it needs to do is it needs to call the account information from Google database and then need to match and see whether the details that you key in on the website matches the login entry before allowing you to go in. So the same thing I need to create in ODS as well. So that's like the, I think, simplest example I can think of. But beyond that, there's also other complicated queries, etc., that can be created and consumed by AIA application for viewing or reviewing all the insurance policy documents. Yeah. So I think that kind of sums up what's my role and what I do. So in case anyone is actually interested in taking up any data related career, then do try. Hopefully the sharing was helpful, and if you guys have any doubt, then feel free to voice it out in the chat. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
All right. So that was the session from Najula. Thank you for sharing and giving us additional insight, especially for me, from the non-IT person. It gives new knowledge also. All right. So we move to the next speakers that we have Maria for the next section. So also from the data architecture team. So Maria, the session is yours.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Theo. I think the presentation is loading. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So myself, Maria Johnny. I'm a technology analyst with EIA for more than 4 years now. And I'm a part of data architecture team as well, working along with Najila. So I'll be sharing about the different database systems in EIA and why we use this system, and also regarding the technology behind them. So maybe the next diagram. Okay, so this is a basic data flow diagram where we have the source system, then we have the ODS tables. ODS is the operational data store, and then we have the EDW, Enterprise Data Warehouse. So the first two boxes that already Najila has already shared. So the source system is like more like we have different formats or different databases from which the data comes in into our system. So ODS is operational data store which have the current data which is used by the online applications and all. So once the data is loaded into the ODS, it then flows down to EDW, into the data warehouse system. So this data warehouse system is where we have all the history data as well. So maybe, for example, I'll quote a simple example in context of insurance. So suppose a customer has come in yesterday and they have already given all the information like the phone number, details, all the policy information, everything. And then maybe today or tomorrow they might have changed their address. So once they change, they will change in the source system. So the new address, maybe yesterday it was A, it flowed into ODS. In the ODS also it is A, and in EDW also it is A. So today they changed it to A1. So in source system it will be captured and then it flows to ODS. So the old address will be replaced by the new address. So the previous address will not be there in source system as well as in ODS. So it will be there in EDW. So it will have both the old address and the current address. So meaning to say the EDW will be having all the history data. So if you want to do any analysis or any decision making based on the history, everything, we use EDW. So EDW is mainly used by the business analytics tools like Tableau, Power BI, etc. for analysis purpose, like how it was yesterday or how it will like be today, like all the analysis being done using the EDW, whereas the applications, the online application or the front end application uses the current data stored in ODS. So next diagram. So this is the explanation. So ODS has this is a central database that provides a snapshot of the latest
Sorry, sorry, Maria.
oh
Wait,
hi, you can hear me now?
I unmute. Oh, sorry,
Hello,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes,
sorry,
clear.
you were able to hear the previous slide, right? This is
Yeah,
Yeah.
the practice already good. Just now I just accidentally mute you, but yeah.
Okay, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, okay. So ODS have the current data. It enables, it combines the different formatted data that come from source into a single format in the ODS table. Then the EDW is a central repository of history data. It gathers information about all this data. It has all the history data, and it is being used by the business intelligence tools, etc. Okay, next slide. Okay, so here I'll be explaining the basic difference between the ODS and EDW, why we have all both this thing, and the basic based on different components, I'll be explaining the difference. So the purpose of ODS, as I already mentioned, it's for the online applications, the front end applications. EDW is for the reporting like Tableau, Power BI, etc. So data refresh. So whenever there is a change in the source system, it will be immediately reflected in the ODS systems. But in the EDW, it will be only a day end image, like uh, only the day end. Once the day end, we have a night batch. In AIA, our EDW jobs or data load is at the day end. So we will only be having that one day day end image only. So and the data availability is like ODS will have the current data, EDW will have both the current data and the history data. So the data present in the ODS is only the current data. We don't have any history data, but EDW will have history data as well. So for the API connectivity, ODS will have the API connectivity. So it's based on the online application. So APIs can connect, but EDW we don't connect it. Whereas business intelligence tools will be connecting to EDW and not to ODS. So the as of image is like we only have the current data, but in EDW we have any, like maybe if you want as of last month, last quarter, last year, all the informations are there in EDW. And the source data to the ODS is from different source system, whereas to EDW it flows directly from the ODS. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now I'll be explaining about Azure Databricks. This is a tool or platform which we use for our data warehouse system. There are many other tools, but in like Talents, Data Stage, the Informatica, etc. But Databricks is the tool which we use now in AIA. Before it was Informatica, and now it's Databricks. So the main components of Databricks is a notebook, workspace, cluster, data, and workflow. So this notebook is where we write the command or the query or the command that we have to run the program. We write it in a notebook. So in order for the query or the command to run, we need a server or the resource to be done, right? So that is what the cluster does. It has the resource to be run. Then once it is run, we need that to be stored somewhere. The data which we get after running the command, that is being stored in the data which we have the tables and views. Then this workspace is where we the space or the place where we create this cluster and notebook. And then once we have all these, we'll be having a workflow for it to automatically run the notebook. Like we can manually run each command, but then if we have to automate it, we have a workflow, mainly mostly like a job where we can, which triggers the notebook. Okay, next slide. Okay, here I have explained in words what each means. The workspace is where the Databricks platform runs and where you can create Spark clusters and notebooks. Here is where we write the notebooks we create. Then we have cluster, a set of computation resource or configuration to run our notebooks. So in notebooks, it's a primary tool where we have multiple languages. Like in each command, I'll be showing a small screenshot of how a Databricks notebook looks like in the coming slide. So we can write multiple languages like Python, R, SQL, etc., and we can run it as a single notebook. Like all this can be run as a single one in a single notebook. So then data workflow allowed to schedule the notebook. So basically what is like, we'll be writing a command in a notebook, we'll be using a cluster to run it, and the data is being stored in the data as a table or a view. And then everything else, this all things all sits on a workspace, database workspace. Okay, next slide.
Kami kalau ikut ini dapat
Okay, so this is a sample screenshot of this. You can see the workspace there. We'll be creating a cluster or a notebook, and then we'll be start writing on our commands or queries. And then we have the data that has the tables and view. All the tables, schemas, views, everything is there. The compute is where we have the cluster information, how many clusters are there, etc. Then we have the workflows, which mentions all the workflow names, the job names which we have. Next slide. Okay, so this is a sample notebook. So you can see this notebook name being written on the top. Beside that, we can see Python. That is the language. We can choose the language whenever we create a notebook, Python or SQL, anything. Basically, mainly I'm working mainly on SQL as well as Python. So we have Python. Then in each command, we can have multiple commands in a single notebook itself. For the first one, have used SQL. Then when we mention the syntax, we can write the query or our command in SQL. Later in the second one, I've written R. So we can write in R syntax itself, or maybe we can write in Python syntax. So it accommodates or it supports all the languages, and we can run this notebook as a single job. With a single job, we can run all this in different languages. So that is a major advantage of Databricks. Okay, so that's all from my end. Maybe this was a brief description. The Databricks as a whole is a big platform, so there are many functionalities and features. So the basic ones I've just covered. Okay, any
All right.
questions? Maybe you can ask Oping. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Maria, for the sharing session. Now, yeah, I do believe maybe some of the participants already got in their head what to ask. So before we go to that session, I would like to. All right, I would like to continue our next agenda before we go to the question and answer. That the first, maybe you guys already heard about what is AIA, about how's the life, how's some roles in working in AIA. But now here, this moment, I would like to take a moment to introduce what is actually Glints. Maybe some of the students here already heard, but some of you guys still don't know what is actually Glints, what is Glints doing. So here we are from Glints. So Glints is an online talent recruitment platform, and it's a career discovery platform headquartered in Singapore. So yeah, we are here to help the youngsters, the fresh graduate, the job seekers to easily get a job by online, and it is enabled for you guys, for the job seekers, to get an international exposure for your career. So Glints actually was founded in August 2013 by our three founders, that is Oswald Yeo, Looking Ann, and Sevin Tong. And here's some our presence in the Southeast Asia, that we do exist in Indonesia. We have two offices in Indonesia, that's in Jakarta and also in Batam. And the second, we also have a branch in Hong Kong, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Malaysia at this moment. And here are on the screen, as you can see, that we have a lot of clients that working together with us. As you can see, that we have some big companies. That is also AIA as one of our big client at this moment. That we have a Plus, HRNet Group, and many more for our big partnership at this moment. And at this moment, Glints already managed to recruit and also to manage the young talents. Since July 2023, that we already managed for 1,028 of Indonesian youngsters, the IT tech, and they are now able to work with the international exposure. And we do hope that by conducting this kind of session, maybe in the future, that you guys, the active students here, there will be one of them to be part of us. And I also would like to share some positions which are mostly the most wanted by our clients. So, for example, like we have top 6 of the position. That the first, as you can see, junior or senior Java developer, and then business analyst. We also look for front-end React.js or Vue.js and back-end developer. And also we have iOS Android developer and also mobile developer, full stack developer, and we also have look for senior DevOps and COBOL developers. So it is open for seniors and also fresh graduates. So it is open for you, and also maybe the next time your friends or your family, they are suitable for this position, then you can share also. All right. So I want to share about how is actually Glints work for you to help your international career. So first, the first step that you can take is you can apply your profile, your resume through our website and also our apps by visiting www.glints.com. After that, the process will be like after you submit from our website, and then your profile will be shortlisted, will be filtered by our recruiters whether it is sweet or not. And then after that, when your CV or resume gets shortlisted, and then okay. So after your CV got filtered and shortlisted, and then we will pass to the client company some of the potential CVs to be further processed. And then, okay, the shortlisted company, the shortlisted resume, it will be, we will arrange for further interview process with the user, and then also there will be like a technical test and an extra that which is mostly required by the user. And after that, once you pass the test and also the requirement process, then you will be given with the offering, meaning that there will be like a statement, what kind of compensation benefit they will get, what kind of responsibility and many agreement. And after that, once you already both of the parties already agreed, and then you can start onboarding and then start your professional working with this and also with the client company. And what if what will happen if your CV is not shortlisted? Don't worry, because on the Glints.com on our website that it is have a lot it has a lot of like 1,000 opening jobs that still open, and then we will try to match with your profiles at this moment. So once you are not shortlisted for the, let's say for the first company, then we will refer to another company which will fit with your qualification. All right. And then I also want to share about Glints AIA, and also we do have a lot of like opportunity for you, for example, like for the active student right now, we're looking for the internship program. So it will be likely be more open in next year. So in here, the Glints and AIA Singapore, that we do provide an internship program. So it's most likely it takes for 1 year for the internship program. Let me get some. Okay. It takes about 1 year for the internship program. I already talked to the organizing committee from the Caltech Polytechnic that 1 year is still can be accommodated, because I know some of you for the internship it takes for 4 months until 6 months, right? But it can be converted into 1 year, and then after that, by being as an internship at AIA Singapore, joining in the BTC team in Batam, and then after that you will have a chance also to get upgraded to a full-time job. So we do have a lot of like alumni that upgraded from the internship become a full-time job. It depends on how you perform during your internship program. And then of course, during the internship, that the device that will be needed for you as an intern will be provided. And also sometimes if it's needed, you will be asked to have a business trip to Singapore based on the project or based on the purposes for you to visit Singapore. And many, I think it's already a lot of success story from the internship student. Now they already like upgraded to the full-time jobs, and then now they already have a good career at the IIA. So I do hope that the active student here can also follow that success story. And here's some of the environment looks like working at Batam. So the developers will be based at our office site. We call it a Nongsa Digital Park in Batam. So where our biggest talent pool is currently stationed at. Other than Batam, then we are also available to help you hire in other cities as requested. But now, for the AIA Singapore, for the BTC team, that they are stationed at Batam at Nongsa Digital Park. Like already also mentioned by Mas David, that the first time he came from Surabaya, out of still don't have any clue how is Batam's will be, and then now he is getting used to as a local people. So whenever you have a chance to move to Batam, there is no doubt Batam is a great place to discover your first career. And I want to share about the relationship between AIA Singapore, Glints, and also the candidates. So as you can see here, there is 3 circles. So the candidates, it will be you as an internship or as the job seeker or the talent. So in here, Glints as the mediator, Glints is the platform that help you to find your international job. And after that, you get hired, and then Glints will be responsible to take care any kind of employment, starting from the legal, from the onboarding until you offboarding. And then this is AI Singapore. Is the company that you will be working professionally and you will be reporting to in terms of your professional work. So Glints not only like doing the recruitment, but also doing the human resources services during your onboarding until offboarding. So we are the mediator here. All right. So here also I want to. This is the position which is mostly look for in AIA Singapore for the BTC team. So the first for the intern, Java developer intern, which is preferably knowledge in Java, and then also the second COBOL developer, knowledge in any language programming. And the third is a database developer, knowledge in Oracle, SQL, MySQL, and then the fourth is a full stack developer intern. So you must be knowledge in React.js and Node.js. And the fifth is all about the business analyst. It should be like knowledge in MS SQL, understand IT security and data protection requirement. And the last one, this is the intern also. This is the intern requirement. So if you are looking for intern, maybe for the next year, so first you have a knowledge of a Java or Python and Spring Boot, Maven, and MVC and SQL. And then the second is open for a fresh graduate or a final year student from IT or computer science or related. And the third, the minimum GPA is a 3 out of 4. And then, of course, you need to be able to have a good communication in English because in AI Singapore and also in BTC, mainly using English, especially if you are communicating with the Singapore team. And after that, you are willing to be relocated to Batam. And next one is the knowledge in cloud, preferably. And then you like to try out new technology also. And you care about the quality under the importance of automated testing and continuous improvement. You have excellent analytical and problem-solving skills and like to communicate with user directly. And the last one, that you are a curious learner and want to know the full landscape of our apps or the AIA apps. All right. So I think that was about the introduction from Glints. And then for those of you who are really interested, for example, like the final year student that are about to graduate and look for the job, feel free to maybe you can screenshot or take a photo my contact and also the emails. And also we have John as a fulfillment leader that we will be gladly to help you to find your first international career, especially with the AI Singapore joining the BTC team. And also for those who are still inactive student, I mean like looking for an internship, yes, you can also do the same. All right, so we are actually already in the question and answer session. So I would like to give a space or a chance for the active students here. If you have any question related to the shared session, feel free. By maybe you can like raise your hand, and also you can unmute and then share what you want to what you want to ask. Anyone? Sometimes maybe this is gonna be the hardest part because some of you may be feeling shy, but just feel free because please maximize the session for any question. Any question? Before, actually, we already prepared for the quiz for those who can answer some question from the speakers. But yeah, we want to give you a chance first to throw a question to our speakers. or maybe some of you still shy, you can type also. We will try to answer by reading the chat. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy cat in bahasa. Or yeah, maybe if you are not really like more confident asking in English, yeah, you can also do it bilingual or in bahasa. It's okay. No questions? Question with the meaning they already understand. We have, oh wait, what do you need? We have okay, okay. So meaning, okay, there is a question from Winda, but sometimes some of the student, yeah, it's a bit struggling using English in terms of communication. Is it gonna be the first requirement? Okay. You mean this is the requirement for the recruitment ya Bu Ida ya? Kayak persyaratan untuk ini ya, untuk internship maupun full time ya? Okay, correct. Yeah, so yeah, for the English at this moment is still like the main factor as the recruitment process, because like I mentioned before, that we are dealing with the let's say the user, and also the one that we reported to is using English. So yeah, English is still the main things to be considered as this skill also. But don't worry, for the student that you still have a time, right, to take an English course and also like to master your English, because some of our active employee also they are not really like fluently speaking English, but yeah, they take outside like English course to improve their skill, learning by doing also. Okay, from David Chandra, izin bertanya, syarat untuk bekerja di luar negeri apakah harus menggunakan TOEIC atau harus menggunakan Okay, this is a question from David Chandra asking the requirement to work outside. I mean, like to work overseas. Is it supposed to using a TOEIC or using a TOEFL or IELTS to apply at AIA Singapore? Okay, so let me also inform that actually during the interview process, it will be like a screening by using English. So meaning that if you are capable to speak English in daily and also professionally, it will be a point plus. But it will be great if you can provide also despite not only like you can speak in English during the interview session, but you can also like it will be a good point plus if you can also share that you have the qualification by showing the TOEFL or the TOEIC. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, correct, Bu Fenty. So like Bu Fenty mentioned, actually that once that you are applying for the internship and also for the full-time job for AIA Singapore with the BTC team, Batam Technology Center, that the legal or the arrangement will be under Glints, but you will be working professionally with the AIA Singapore. But the legal and another arrangement in terms of employment still will be with Glints. Okay. Any question from another active student? We have already got, is it English still a must? Yes, it's still a must. You should be able to speak in the daily conversation, but it will be a point plus also if you can also provide your TOEFL or a TOEIC. Any question? Actually, we have another 10 minutes left. So I'm still look forward another question from the student. Okay, we have from Chelsea. Hi, Mr. Theo. Actually, I have interest in UI UX, and I would like to be a UI UX designer in the future for my career. And I noticed on the Glints internship program, there are no position in UI UX. Is the UI UX mixed with the full stack positions? All right, so actually at this moment, yeah, maybe it's not stated on the on our presentation, but there is a possibility, for example, like right now that we are talking about AI in Singapore and also the BTC team. But in the future is we will never know that in the future that there will be a possibility also maybe if it's not in AIA or in other like another client. But let me also clarify with maybe Mas Nico, like, is there any like a possibility for the UI UX for the AIA Singapore during, I mean, like for the BTC team for the UI UX?
Oh, for the UI UX, yeah, actually, there's no specific career in UI UX in AIA lah, because all the UI UX design will be provided by the stakeholder and usually will provide by the business user from the AIA Singapore, lah, the one that provide the project informations. But from our side, when we do a front end kind of developments, usually we will also have an opinion in the UI UX. We can provide some information or some additional advice to the users. So I think I can say there's no specific UI UX roles in AIA Singapore, or maybe David, do you want to chip in on this one?
Yeah, Nico, thank you. Maybe for the question itself, is you mean to have the designer like in the Figma, or what you mean is for the doing the coding, like to make the application user interface, user experience. If let's say for the designing, like making the Figma, like the first layout design, like, yeah, let's say we say Figma, is like what Nico said, it is already part in the Singapore headquarter there. But if let's say it's for the coding, for to make come true of the layouting design as a UI UX, is we also have we have take part of this one as well. Yep, that's I think for that one. Try to amend for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mas David. Yeah. So yeah, at this moment it's still being handled by the Singapore team, but we will never know. Yeah, maybe like there is like another development maybe in the future. The process will be like this: like whenever that we will open for the internship vacancies and also like a full-time job vacancies, and then we will list what kind of position which is being hired. And then after that, for sure, I will share to Bu Indah also to the Caltex Polytechnic to be informed to all of the students. So after that, please do keep in touch with that, and then hopefully maybe someday you can be part of us. All right. So now the time is 15 minutes to 11. I would like to offer one more session for those who want to draw a question before. After this, we will hold the quiz from the speakers. Any question? We have 2 minutes stages. Okay, I see. Thank you all. You're welcome, Chelsea. One more question. Okay, from Pali Reno. Morning, Mr. Theo. Talking about technical aspects, I may not have met the standard yet, but what can I do to build myself up and increase my chances of being part of the AIA internship program? Talking about technical aspect, I may not have standard, but what can I do to build myself up and increase my chance of being okay? So from Pali, so maybe I would like to ask also like assistant from maybe from Nico as the alumni. So how to increase the chance to be part of the AI internship program? Maybe at this moment he's not have met the standard yet, but how to increase?
Okay, so the question is,
The
okay,
question
actually,
how to
there's not much of a standard lah. As long as you want to learn and then you really enthusiast on your developing skills, yeah, you can try. You can, like I mentioned in my presentation, you need to continuous learning. So never stop learning, even though you feel like this is not, I haven't reached this kind of level yet, or this is not my standard yet. Then never think like that lah. You need to, every time you need to learn, and then in AI also we will help you to learn. We will help you to progress. It's not like we will left you out and do your own things. No, because the seniors, the team lead will help you out in this process, in this workstations. So don't worry about any standards. As long as you want to always learn, uh, you will be welcome in AIA.
Right. So maybe also after Nico, maybe you can like joining like the certification or like joining the community, right? That will improve the skills and then you go best during the interview process. All right. So I think that's enough for the question and answer. But like I mentioned in earlier, actually that we already prepared a prizes. It's like e-wallet money. So for those who are able to answer the question from each speakers, then you will be entitled for that e-money. So one person will be entitled for 100,000 rupiah and will be transferred to your e-wallet money. All right, so maybe I would like to appoint some of the speakers. I do believe that the speakers already prepared the question, and after that, I will point out one speaker, and then the student can raise their hand and then try to answer the question. So the first, maybe from Mas Bari, do you have like any question for the student?
Okay. Yeah, I have a question based on my presentation before. So, how many offices are in IIA Singapore, and where are all the offices located?
How many offices, yeah?
Yes.
And how, sorry?
And where are all the offices?
Okay. So anyone who wants to try to answer, come on, you will be entitled for the 100,000 rupiah. Anyone? All right, we have one in the chat box. Oh. From Fali Reno, 3 offices in Singapore. How is it, Mas Bari? Anyone?
Almost correct. Three
Almost.
offices, three offices, yes. But where are the three offices?
Yeah, you mean the location, right?
The location here.
Almost correct, Fali. The offices already, and then Singapore. Is it, Mas Bari?
Yes, but so they got half.
Yeah, so meaning if the answer is correct, so let me record so Fali and also Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I will record the winner, but later I will try to contact with Bu Indah for their contacts, or you guys can WhatsApp me for further arrangement. Yeah, so let me That is Pali and Chelsea. Okay. Okay, from Najula, I think of for any technical perspective, there are basic and foundational projects online.
Yeah, I think I was like sharing for, I think the previous question, I think Fenty asked to supplicate more. So I thought like maybe better to just share the, I think type it out, I guess. So I'm like now like I'm like in the middle of writing the second half for, let's say, database app development or programming related lah. So I think I can share some advice lah, because technically I think pretty much I think every person who shared here technically went through interviews, and also the main thing I would suggest is really about working on foundational or basics of what they are interviewing for. So I think for different, I think UI UX one is technically quite I think front end related is based on what are the previous, like what I shared, right, is about what are the previous projects that they have already shared lah. Like I think if they can already display what they are able to develop, showcase them on uh, personal profiles, then that's a bonus lah. Then I think for other use case which is more backend related, the only way is to keep making multiple, I think, GitHub repos, sharing that they are able to contribute, and they are able to, I think, share certain perspective of, I say, critical problem solving skills lah. I think that's more of what might help land interviews also. Because end of the day, they need to go through interviews, right? So trying to work towards that interview step of keeping the basics and foundation in place for any, I think, tech related work is important. So technically working on that is, I think, most crucial. Because based on the foundation, you can always answer and, I think, analyze any questions or problems that you are given. I think in terms of that problem solving plus, I think basics and foundation is the most important, I think, for any tech related work in that sense. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Najula, for the additional. Okay.
Thanks.
So yeah, we move forward to the another. So maybe Najula, you have a question to be thrown to the participants.
Yeah, I think I did mention about. Okay, I'm not sure. I think this might be straightforward. It's more of. I think what are the two main databases that was shared between me and Maria? Yeah.
All right. Okay, so who's gonna try to answer? You can type also if you don't want to unmute. Question from Najula. Anyone? Anyone can answer? No.
Or maybe simpler one also can be about what are the four, because I shared about multiple scenarios, right? So I think specific to AIA, what are the, like, how many scenarios, or you can remember which scenarios I shared also would be good. Like the four key scenarios that's the used by the database that we are using. Yeah, the four main scenarios that I shared about.
Okay, what is the scenarios? Anyone? Well, we still have another 400,000 rupiahs to be won. Nobody? I think,
Too difficult to remember.
yeah, I think, is it too difficult for you?
No, okay, straightforward from both of our sharing. Yeah.
So from Chelsea, The answer Netflix stream, IG share, and shopping. Is it Najula?
I think that's more for the database example. Right? I asked about AIA. I'll go try.
So it's not the answer, yeah? Yeah, Najula, yeah.
No, yeah. Hers was more of the generic sense. I asked for database related for AIA. Yeah, the 4 scenarios.
Because it's more easy to remember Netflix, IG, and also the shopping.
That's why.
I take it. Come on, anyone who can answer Najula's question? No, no one can answer. Okay, maybe that's one for Najula. Maybe you want to switch to the like easier one.
Easier one. I think okay. Technically, we were to go on what Chelsea shared. Technically, there's one item missing. Like if she can answer that, also can. Well, that's technically about what are the different services that would not work right without databases. So there's still one missing. So if she can remember that, then okay, like she can win also.
So meaning like
like,
Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, I think Chelsea, if you can remember the last point, then okay lah. Then I think you can score it also. About because I shared 4 scenarios, right? About 4 examples on what would happen without databases. So technically, there's one missing. Yeah.
So one missing if like a Chelsea can complete it and then see and
Yeah,
add
if
all.
Chelsea can remember, or if anyone else can remember and add, then okay, then you can steal and win also.
Okay, so next place already, IG already, and shopping. So what is another?
Yeah, Chelsea got it. Payments, yeah.
Okay, correct. So Chelsea won also from Najula. Okay, Chelsea.
Thanks,
All right. Thank you, Najula. And then we move to Nico. What is your question, Nico?
Okay, my question, I think I will type it in the chat box.
Okay. Please name at least 3 practices of engineering culture. At least 3 practices. All right.
Should be quite easy and straightforward.
Come on. We still have another 300,000 to be won.
I think Rizky is raising his hand.
Yeah. Okay, Rizky, you can unmute if you want it.
Izin jawab.
Yep.
Maaf pakai bahasa Indonesia, Pak.
Okay, yes, try your best. Apa itu jawabannya?
Jawabannya, Pak, pertama sustainable software, kedua itu incremental improvement, yang ketiga itu continuous learning, Pak.
Kurang, itu prinsipalnya, bukan practices-nya.
Iya.
Practices itu yang tadi di bagian kanan ada banyak itu.
Oke. Ayo Rizky coba cari lagi. Ini ada thank you Rizky for trying, but you still have a chance to find the correct one. We also have from Chelsea, unstructured, driver or navigator, and also ping pong. Is it?
Not quite right. Ini metodologi pair programming. Salah satu contohnya tuh pair programming 1. Nah, 2 lagi apa?
Come on, Rizky and also Chelsea. One. Okay, from Tia, until unit testing, code review and design review.
Nah, betul.
Wow, congrats Tia. You won 100,000 ya. Okay. So from Nicole, done. Now we move to David's question.
Okay, this one will be easy question. But don't open Google for this one. Ini pertanyaan gampang tapi nggak boleh buka Google.
Right.
Oke, apa kepanjangan dari API?
API. API.
Izin jawab, Pak.
Okay, who's that?
Rizky, Pak.
Okay, Rizky. Yes, go ahead.
Kepanjangan API itu Application Programming Interface, Pak.
Is that
Betul.
correct? Betul. Congrats, Rizky. Okay, last one. Last chance to win 100,000 from Maria. So, what is your question, Maria?
Okay, so easy one. I wanted to know the technology stack which we use for the data warehousing. I explained about one tool or a platform at the end.
Mhm.
Explained about
Emang
some
apa ya, Mas?
components and
All right. So, anyone can answer Maria's question? Okay, last chance to win 100,000 rupiah. Anyone?
starts with D.
So there is a clue starting with D. Or they are looking for another clue.
Izin jawab, Pak.
Okay, Rizky again.
Azure Databricks ya, Pak?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Makasih,
so
Pak.
that was Ricky, right? Sorry, Rizky, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, congratulations, Rizky. So yeah, that was all the winners. So first, Chelsea and Fali won 100,000, and the second Chelsea won for 100,000. Tia and also Rizky entitled for the 200,000 rupiah for answering the questions. All right, so we are already at the end of the session. Now the time is showing 13 minutes past 11 Indonesian time. So yeah, the wrap up is like from me, and also I do hope that it was a fun session and also like an inspiring session for all the students here. That hopefully you guys find it insightful for your next journey for the internship and also looking for a job. And me also, and also from the AI team, look forward having you to be part of us. So I think that's all from me. Once again, thank you very much from Bu Indah from the Caltech Polytechnic and all of the students. We really appreciate for the chance given to us. And I also would like to say thank you to all of the speakers, Maria, Najula, Bari, Nico, and also Mas David. Thank you for your time. And hopefully in the near future that we will have this kind of sharing session so we can inspire another young people to have an international career also, just like AIA and also BTC team. So I think that's all. Once again, thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, for the winners after this, I will contact maybe Bu Indah, maybe to share their contact, and then I will contact them directly to transfer the prizes. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.